to assist them with the numbers. But in terms of law enforcement, financial crimes like money laundering, that's a specialized area for the Financial Investigation Division. So it is sad that the Prime Minister has put his friend there now to derail the statutory mandate of the Integrity Commission. And so far, Dennis Strong is silent on the matter. So do you expect him to produce any report that is adversarial against the Prime Minister of Jamaica?
Thank you very much, so I'm saying, if the Prime Minister did not guilty, why should he put on so much defense?
But let me tell you something. The judicial review filed by the Prime Minister is frivolous, vexatious, malicious, and meritless. The Integrity Commission is empowered to carry out these investigations, right? They are not in breach of any natural justice because the Prime Minister and his attorneys were called in at every step of the way. They were notified and all the procedures were followed. The Prime Minister would have signed his own statutory declaration. And those are the premise on which the Integrity Commission made a recommendation for the Prime Minister to be charged for illicit enrichment in 2024. And at that time, the corruption prosecutor said, no, she's not going to prosecute. And then all of a sudden, she left the office. Right? So I'm saying that the Prime Minister is the head of the country in terms of the executive. I mean, the when we know that the Governor General is, at the head of the chart, right? Because he represents the king, but the Governor General doesn't have any power that the executive carries. The Andrew Holness is the head of the government. He is the head of the cabinet. He is the Prime Minister, meaning he's first amongst equal, right? So this man is wielding extraordinary powers. He has command of our resources. He should step aside. He cannot be Prime Minister handling all these power and state resources and under the specter of criminal liability.
Let me ask you a question 1 second. Then hold on there. Just check, I'm not even remember. The whole Labour ready to come out and say the Prime Minister never get charged.
Yeah, man. The Prime Minister was referred to be charged for illicit enrichment in 2024, and Kamika Prince declined. Yes, and he was also referred for false declaration because there was an issue with one of his companies called Westcon, right? Yeah, that he didn't disclose, so it's twice
when
the Prime Minister was referred.
Prime Minister, nobody will recover for charge. You saw them liar wicked.
Twice.
What's the name of what's the name of the lady again?
Kamika Prince.
Right.
The Prime Minister was referred for false declaration and also illicit enrichment.
Do you remember
false declaration in February 2023 and illicit enrichment in 2024?
That is the same time he got to Barbados and bring in team and to come at the airport.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, man. That is what. Yeah, man. Me not tell about it, Ed boy.
Yes. So when the Labour them come out and talk about say, me never refer to charge. You saw the liar wicked.
They are telling
you. He was
lies.
about to charge, man. Tamika Prince, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You want to remember her name. Thank you very much, Uncle Jim.
So the Integrity Commission basically said, listen, the Prime Minister possesses extraordinary wealth and he failed to give an accurate account of where he got those monies from. So the Integrity Commission said, over to you, Director of Director of Corruption Prosecution, right? Kamika Prince. And Kamika Prince declined to charge the Prime Minister, and then she left the office right thereafter. I don't know what kind of deal she went into, but she left immediately after she made the decision in favor of Andrew Holness.
Man, we all know what go on this. So. We don't have to talk, we know what go on.
But I'm saying, a lot of the people in this country, they are not connecting the issue of bad roads, collapse of health and education. They're not linking those, poverty. They're not linking those with that of grand theft of public funds. They need to do the connection that the reason why we are in so much misery is because of these politicians continue to steal state funds, and we the people are suffering.
I hear say, I don't know if I truth. When me hear say, what the Prime Minister tell him a quote, carrying back a quote, and if he dispute the figures what the IC give, if we say the IC are going in privacy. That thing carrying a quote for
and let me tell you something. With judicial review, if the application for judicial review lacks merit, then meaning that there is no reasonable prospect for success, and the grounds the Prime Minister stated are frivolous and meritless, then it should be struck from the court registry immediately. This shouldn't be taking any long time.
No, no. As them say, everybody have a right with the judicial thing there, right? So here what? Then give a date. So when you go back in this time, we can't say if we stop them yet because everybody have a right. If I were me and you, may have a right said if we go back there. That is true.
I don't know about that, I don't know about that because the police charge people every day unlawfully and do a lot of corrupt practices. And I am not seeing a lot of judicial review being filed against the police force.
Because
if that were to be done, if that were to be done, it would have all criminal proceedings and bring the criminal justice to a complete. It would be chaos.
All right,
it would be chaos.
Good.
So I'm saying now that these judicial review. Remember, the Prime Minister has not yet been charged. Andrew Wheatley has not yet been charged. Xavier Main has not yet been charged. So why are they filing judicial review? The proper procedure is for them to stand trial in the criminal court, and if they are guilty and they want to appeal, they can appeal to the Court of Appeal and straight to the Privy Council in England. They cannot hijack the criminal justice system with judicial review. These men are public officials. They should resign. They should resign while they are challenging these cases. They cannot occupy the walls of powers.
That's why
continuing to challenge the state, because basically they are trying to challenge the people of Jamaica, because the Integrity Commission is there to protect public funds and hold public officials accountable.
That's why I bring Azan. Azan never charged with that, Azan never charged with that. Azan step down. What you tell Azan to step down? Minister of Health. What you tell him to step down? And him step down and make them investigate the matter. Because look here now. Look at this now. Oh, me go up there as minister, as junior, or any minister up there. So are you investigate me? Me can't shuffle papers around.
Easily, but that's what they are doing, Sydney. Sydney. They are tampering. They are tampering with documents, right? You see the 300% increase that Andrew Holness gave himself and others. You know why they did it? To try and justify the mass wealth that they have accumulated illegally.
Yes.
That is the reason. You don't see that was unprecedented for a person to give themselves 300% increase.
Yes, and if you get $1 million, a month, and 300% raise, 99% of people now go to hold that, they're not going to turn down that, and the person who give them will give them a 5% favor over you, So that is what Andrew Holness used.
I am hearing people saying that.
So back when me I say, look here now, man. The reason why why name Dennis Strong? Remember I said 2 months ago, Dennis Strong saying washing hand from it, Say him not looking into that thing because he wasn't there and him washing hand from it.
But that's impossible, Sidney. That's a lie. He's the head of the division, so he has all power and authority to execute at all times.
I him have the power.
Right.
Him have the power. And the next foolishness, what them I say now? When me just say, if me are the head, say me are the head writer so now, like say me are weekly, or Xavier, I am the Prime Minister, me are the head, and you are investigate me, and me know say you are work for me and Sir Bless are work for me. All right. And when me step in the office, even if we not even the pan of
good afternoon.
Yeah, for you see me step in the office, it's a different thing, you know. Wait, for you know, say me the boat. Why you were not tell me and I go tell me again, you know.
But Sydney, in the first place,
when we out here now, you will talk to the person different.
Sydney, in the first place,
yes,
Dennis Strong should never have taken the position because he knew that he was conflicted by having a special association with the Prime Minister. That alone should have told him that that position is not ethical or suitable for him, and that is why Peter Phillips, Mark Golding, and all those, and many Jamaicans who are not PNP, they came out in droves to protest against Dennis Strong's appointment. So when Dennis Strong is saying now that he's going to extricate himself or take himself away from the investigation, that's impossible because he already took the position knowing that he was conflicted. So that doesn't sit well with people who are educated, sir.
Yeah, just because the brethren come here, when Dayton Campbell, when just attend a wedding, whether they want to say my best man or not, in just attend a wedding, and you hear the big thing when the labor them come up with what we said, yes, I'm friend, because you may go and wedding and turn the best man, and Ray. And know what about the Prime Minister and bosom friend when riding, take a picture with him and ride, and them are ride together and friend together. How they now make up nice band that now say Dennis Strong and the Prime Minister best friend, saying shouldn't get the work. You see it?
But even if Dennis Strong was put there in a orchestrated manner whereby everything was planned.
Yes.
And the Prime Minister expects a favorable result from the appointment of Dennis Strong. However, Dennis Strong has to respond to the Integrity Commission because they cannot respond in the form of a one-page letter to say, we have found no merit in your demand for further investigation of the Prime Minister. They can't do that. The Integrity Commission's requests would have specific issues that they wanted to be illuminated, meaning that to enhance the scope of their investigation on those particular issues, those items. So the FID would have to respond in the form of an addendum whereby they would have to address all specific points raised by the Integrity Commission. So this is not a one-page love letter or a one-paragraph letter. No, it doesn't work like that. So as Sir Bless asked a while ago, how long will it take Dennis Strong and FID to respond to the Integrity Commission? Sir Bless is saying quite a few months have passed. Where is your response to the Integrity Commission? We as a people are demanding that response from FID now.
Yeah, but you know, come in. But Dennis Strong not tell you already, man. He man tell you saying wash your hand from it. He no business with it. So what you expect him to say again?
Oh, well, to wash his hand from it, it means that he would have abandoned his fiduciary duty.
The man saying done with it, he non business with it. The man tell you plain. So what you want Dennis Strong to
So in essence, then the investigation has stalled.
Yeah, then you don't see that the man tell you plain. Because if Dennis Strong send a letter now, send even 5 letters to the FI, to the IC. Him can't say nothing because he talking about the media said done with him, wash your hand from him.
Well, you know what, Sydney? The Integrity Commission needs to file a judicial review against FID then to produce a response.
Yes. The man say no business with it. So if you tell me plain, say no business with it. Oh, you can send a letter to me now and you tell me you never business with it.
But
that means that something you do.
Before the other speaker comes in, I just want to reiterate that the Integrity Commission has a statutory mandate to conduct these investigations based upon one statutory declaration. And the purpose is to hold public officials accountable and to also protect public funds. Now, the Integrity Commission is empowered by law to produce those reports and send to Parliament. They have done nothing wrong. They have followed the principles of natural justice and calling these men. You know how many opportunities the Integrity Commission would have given the Prime Minister and his attorneys at law to satisfy their demands? He couldn't satisfy it because his true source of wealth are not legitimate. They are unlawful. That's why he failed to declare them properly on his statutory declaration. And that's the problem the Integrity Commission is having, right? And we, the people, are suffering the pangs of hell when we don't have a government that has integrity, because they are stealing public funds, buying luxurious properties, and our children can't get to go to university. Their education will stop at high school. They can't find $500,000 to pay the first tuition fee, right? Jamaicans are so poor.
I seconded boy, man.
Yeah. What seconded boy just come up here?
Yeah.
We are looking at but we can't pronounce it.
We can't pronounce it either.
Tell me why I go ahead, boy. How I go? Tell me him.
Thank you very much, Uncle Jim. Thank you very much. Blessed. Deputy boy, how are you doing? Good afternoon, sir.
I'm good. Bless up, sir. Bless. Uncle Sidney.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure to have you on the platform.
You know,
tell
maximum.
me before you talk, man. Tell me before you talk, because we can't understand it. Tell me.
Well, you know, this name says Vence Ramos, which is what Vence Ramos, which is what the Cubans say we will overcome. We will overcome.
Israel. Go get that name, yeah.
What, Vence Ramos? No, man, that one is a Cuban name, man. Cuban name, this man. No, it's not Vences Ramos, you know. Vence Ramos.
Vence.
Oh, Vence Ramos.
Which means we shall overcome. Remember, every time Fidel finished speaking, you know. It's a Patria Muerte, Vence Ramos.
Patria Muerte, Vence Ramos. All right, sir, go ahead.
I want to big up Brother Jim, because Brother Jim is a man who have been fighting in the wilderness for a while. I hear him on a lot of programs, and I want to big him up. Very educated man, a man who always come with facts.
Yeah, man.
But I think what slip us, you know, is that a lot of people forget that there is also an ongoing case with TAJ, the Tax Administration of Jamaica.
Oh, because yes.
I tell you what Andrew is doing that a lot of people didn't realize is Positive Jamaica Foundation. And it is so sad that the man put Jamaica in a foundation that is under investigation. He took from his non-profit, and a lot of people don't understand. Yes, he registered it as a foundation with the registrar of companies, but understand that he's not registered just at the registrar of companies. He's registered under the Charities Act with the Department of Department of Cooperatives, Foundation Society. Yeah, which means that foundation should be operating under the law. It should not be doing investment with people's funds. Yeah, that's one. So what rich people do, you know, is them set up foundations and they try to bypass paying taxes. So what comes into the foundation is untaxable. And that's why he was moving so much money through Positive Foundation and lending loans, because if Imperium lend the foundation a loan, how you can tax the foundation?
Okay.
So people need to understand there's two things rich people have, you know. Every rich person have a trust or they have a foundation. And you have to have, they normally register offshore LLC that then is responsible for the trust. Yeah? And because you can't do a trust without a company, you know. Yeah? So that's what he did. The next thing that he did with TAJ, he reported nil returns when the companies were making in excess of 200, 300 million. How could you be reporting that the company not doing a business transaction when it we see it move 40 million, 50 million, one move 200 million in no time? Yeah? So he has evaded. paying taxes.
All of that, is money laundering because
Of
those
course.
companies are shell companies. They weren't doing legitimate businesses.
Brother
right?
Jim, that's where I'm heading.
So it's
That's
to
where-
move government funds, kickbacks, sale of public assets, and so on. You understand?
But
Those are the
I
kinds
want you
of
to
money.
look at Positive Foundation and look at what it did in the COVID. Positive Foundation was receiving donations on behalf of the Jamaican people, And I say that with no water in my mouth because I went to look at their website. Well, they really don't have a website. They have a Instagram page. And when you look at what they reported as their, because remember, every foundation must have something that it's what guides the foundation. So it's similar to like what you would say is your vision plan, your mission statement, your strategies and your objectives and so of the foundation. And when you look at it, one of the objectives was to distribute things in relation to healthcare, and they indicated that they received donations in supplies and otherwise for COVID. That's a fact. Yeah, it's their websites, it's their Instagram site, and I say it. And anybody could go and go look on the Instagram page of Positive Foundation. But I want to extend the argument to we need to understand what's happening to the Integrity Commission. And as far as I'm concerned, every 63 member of parliament who sit in the parliament have the potential to be corrupt. I want people to hear me. Yeah? Not to say that all of them are corrupt. Yes? So because the assumption of us is that every one of them have the potential to be corrupt, the Integrity Commission was put there to ensure that they walk the straight and narrow line. So how could you be now having these frivolous lawsuits against the Integrity Commission when the purpose of the Integrity Commission is to protect you the fox? The Integrity Commission is the farmer who is protecting the fox from the ends. Yeah? And when you see the onslaught that come against the Integrity Commission, you ask yourself, can we anymore trust the Parliament to having anything to do with the Integrity Commission? In fact, the Integrity Commission should be set up in such a way that it does its own work with no interference. And we have to trust the people that we assign. So you tell me, Miss Justice Beswick, who was a judge, you don't trust her? You're telling me that the man who used to run the Bank of Jamaica, Brian Winter, who is one of the best, and not to say that he was the best Bank of Jamaica governor, but he knows how money flows and he could follow money. He was at
Let
the
me say
central
something.
bank.
We need
One
to
second, Jim, let me learn. So what I'm saying, the point I'm trying to connect, you have these people of noted integrity, and you are now trying to castigate them and put them in the light that, oh, them against the JLP. But what people fail to understand, that these people are ministers of government. The opposition will not be seen in the same light by the IC because they're not involved or in charge of government funds. If they were in charge and were responding the way that the JLP is responding, then you would say to yourself, then the PNP are look sitting for thief too. Yeah? So we have to treat this matter as not just, as I say, a partisan matter, but a matter that goes to the heart of integrity and a matter that goes to the preservation of the resources that belong to the people. I want to make one last point. In a report that came from the IC, you know that the IC gave us a report the other day, well, a statement, that over 34,000 contracts were issued, valuing $364 billion. And out of those 34,000 contracts, 70% of them were sole source contracts, meaning none of them not go for tender, they not go for bid, them not go for RFQ. Then just call in somebody and say, we need this to do, and we're going to pay accordingly what you tell we say you want to be paid. Yeah? Or what we offer to pay. How could that be good governance? And so I ask the question. Now we understand why people ball in fourth term in our faces. Because if they are allowed to continue within this financial year with the same practice, what will happen is that you'll have contractors who will get funds.
Big up yourself.
Right? And then go ahead and go do the shenanigans. And this is what the people need to stay focused on. And Sir Bless, I want to say one last thing because I'm going to allow the other panel to continue. You see, we cannot bury our heads. If you support the People's National Party, you cannot bury your head in the proverbial sand. that there is not some shushu, as they say here in the Caribbean, Eastern, in terms of a possible leadership challenge. And I tell you why we can't shushu it.
Yeah.
Damian Crawford is within his right to do what he thinks is best for him. And if next year he chooses to challenge, then we welcome the challenge. We will deal with Damian accordingly. He's a comrade. And at the end of the day, the person who becomes the comrade leader will be the person that we must rally behind. Now, this is not a support statement in beyond, because quite frankly,
I understand you.
Right? So I'm simply saying to comrades, you cannot argue with a man who wants the constitution of the PNP allows him to challenge. Let him challenge. When we beat him, because I know he's going to be beaten. When he's beaten, then he goes back, and I hope that he gives his contribution as a comrade. And I know Damian Crawford is not somebody who's going to be unwilling to serve if he loses. Yeah? So I want to say, in relation to the argument, we welcome challenges. We're not like the JLP, we don't have no one done. Yeah? And that is where I'll rest and to say that people don't waste their time arguing who want to run from who no want to run. At the end of the day, the party is a democratic party, and we have always upheld the democratic principles. And when it's done, it is for the betterment of the party. So, and I know the party. It's bigger than Damian Crawford. It's bigger than Mark Bolin. We will overcome. Venceremos. That's it.
We need to examine. We need to examine.
Can you mute Sister Tiny? All right, go ahead, Uncle Jim, and then I go to Eagle.
Yes. I think that these frivolous lawsuits is an abuse of process, and the opposition party should have a legal team to examine the legality that Andrew Holness has taken, Wheatley, Maine, and so on. I know Dr. Carl Bruce, a man who has been implicated for many, many, many years in medical madness, unethical business practices, and all of that. Now, let me tell you something. These men have not yet been charged, you know. So how do they have a right for judicial review when they are not yet been charged? We need to examine the legality of the procedure these men are taking to derail the statutory mandate of the Integrity Commission. We need to examine it, because how we know it is that these men should be charged, right? And then legal proceedings can take place from there on. They are not yet charged, so how are they applying for judicial review? What is their legal standing when they are not yet charged? I have a problem with it. And I think that the opposition should assemble a legal team to analyze and assess this kind of legal strategy that is used by the Prime Minister. And also, the opposition should call for the Director of Public Prosecution to prosecute these men, because the judicial review that are being done, at no time the judges say you can't prosecute these men, because one would be criminal and the other would be civil. I'm saying that the opposition should examine this part that is being used by those ministers to see if it is really a solid legal pathway. And the opposition should also call for the Director of Public Prosecution to institute criminal proceedings, which is separate from a judicial review.
Oh, thank you, Uncle Jim. Thank you very much. Eagle.
Morning, my brothers. Morning, comrades. Morning,
everyone. What's on your mind, sir?
Well, you know, my brother Vince just kind of highlighted what is on my mind. And one thing we can safely say that we are a democratic socialist party, you see? And everyone has a right for his or her own opinion. No one is above a challenge when their time comes. What we will say as comrades is that the better person will prevail. and we will continue to work as opposition until we are being led in government. Because if you look at it, every position will be made vacant coming next year. Vice president to regional. Look at the regional chair position. No one. This depends on. Even though you have done a good job, you if somebody want to challenge you, give them a challenge. Let your work prove for you. Okay, and we're not going to follow no labor rights to bring division in the party.
But at the same time, I just want to make a point. At the same time, does Damian Crawford has the wherewithal and the status, the knowledge of statecraft?
Nobody make we go down that road, man. But
they are saying challenges can go on, right?
Yeah, man, but nobody make we are beat them pan this where we know say right or
yes, but we don't at the same time. At the same time, the opposition is doing a good job in parliament, you know.
Make we go down pan
so we don't want to destabilize.
Brother Jim, I think the point that Sydney is making, and you realize I said it the way I said it. I am unapologetic that if a challenge were to come, I support Mark Golden. But what Sydney is saying, Damon has indicated that he's going to run, and he's in his right to do so, and we welcome a challenge.
All right, we are covered that is a time. I don't make a point.
Because Damon don't say that, all know him not say that. Last year at the same thing, then Labour keep up, and him come out and tell him say nothing no go so. So make we nobody go down that road. Tell if him say so now we can't talk. But him not say that. You understand? All know
when we reach everybody, we can't cry.
Yeah. You know. We want beat them because beat them.
Welcome, Jenna.
You know, it's why it is that the minister, Terence Morrison, as it is alleged, and Babsy Grange not talking, those relationships affect how the country. Right? Why it is that the Prime Minister went to a press conference and said him never know that was a situation in the human resource part of the health ministry. He's the head of the cabinet. That is what we need to discuss.
Yeah, man.
I have said it. And that's with the
100% come up a Damien thing. I will talk about this flatness going on.
Yeah, but no, man. You know what I like with the conversation. It don't really go to proposal. So they are not. We are not saying anything bad.
all of us are
Yeah, because listen, only parting are going and in a them party. And you know, here nobody come out and said Ray. We felt like because me I get to understand say if you're even there have your yard and you have a little backyard behind it and you say alright, you buy one make a cube and put in one little 25 chicken. You have to register with rather.
Yeah, man.
Poor.
But you think of that alone, if you plant up in your man your yard back. If you black up your man your yard back or 2 bananas, you have to go register rather.
Then that me I say, everything you do it for your own benefit, and like I said, you go sell it, nah nothing. You do it for your own benefit, and you have to go register. That means you don't have no talk, you don't have no talk for your yard, you don't have no talk on road, you don't have no talk for your justice, not talk why this man I carry for them in a slavery and dictatorship. To control people, and those are the things we talk about. Right now, the farmer them a ball.
1 p.m.
Because the people them can't. The people them can't sell them product. And they imported things that come from Jamaica.
One lady must
those are the things that we have to talk about.
The lady plant 3 bananas, must 2 planting, and the banana plant shoot. And she cut 2 of the banana, 1 of the planting in her car trunk. Whether she want to go the market with it and where she go. And police stop him and ticket the woman. Why would a woman carry banana right to ticket the woman? Because I say, no man, let's go say the woman prep fit.
And them crack there, and then they sit there with your talk about.
And them say once every eat what we grow.
I'm coming to you, Digo. I'm coming to you. This is a tiny landing ship and then you take over the floor.
Yes, Tiny. One talk, Tiny.
Those are the things we're supposed to be talking about. Look on the prime, this man, we go down at Mackenzie with them pepper frame, a distraction. Because all you feel say, people get pie from 6 o'clock. And because the police are not carry them to hospital, you are going to put on your clothes to come in there. Come obstruct the police, them on them duty after you tell the civilian if you left the police alone, make them do their job. Right? So all of them, something that them think that we have to talk about what are going in the country and the injustice. The injustice, justice to them, but justice for not for the citizens to them. What kind of slackness that? I don't think that people fear rebel. When I rebel about no damn who want this or who want that or them shit there.
To be truth, Sister Tiny, nobody getting our point, you know. They just remember. You have to
crush it down. You have to crush it down and stop it before.
Not the body say Auntie Tiny.
Yeah, no, there was no then Bible. What I'm saying, you know, you're gonna start talk about that or whatever. Then everybody are got fatigue and then they go stretch. We don't want to stretch, so we don't
nobody not that. No man.
You understand? Too much things in the country where injustice. Look on all the people them to box foot where vote. Them live at St. Elizabeth from Whopper King Philip, a priory. And them food basket. The fishing beach, they go catch them fish and come sell. And the man I go say it's allergic for them live on it. But it's illegal for them take it over and give them big friend them. To build up high-rise in hotel and casino and do ever and turn it in a tourist resort. Those are the things, man, I want the Jamaican people them to have nothing. They might run them out of business. How can people put you in? As you they say, Corbin, me not wrong, me not sorry for them one because you know what? Corbin in the lot them down in a Corbin. And at the end of the day, him big friend them there, I keep birthday party with almost $1,000 out of cake and I say, shout out labor right. But at you as a local civilian and go upon the road and lock you up, you have to pay almost $1,000. Him lock them down and call election and open it. And as him win when do, lock them back down. And everybody sit down and laugh and jump and celebrate. So and do the same thing. Can nobody now come say nothing? I rebel. That is it, you know. Go and there go. Cause boy, the way me hurt me now lie. Come let me all leave come from one and I first me I come on TikTok. Cause me not interested for come no more.
Why? We still have to fight, man. We still have to fight it.
Yeah, but listen, every day I the same thing. I mean, I see no movements are going, Papa. It hurt me.
I understand what you're saying. I sometimes feel the same way, but we could go out there and watch the process.
TikTok should be used as a platform to motivate and to call for protests. And the one in Crossroad did work. You know, it made international news, right?
Yeah.
It was
them have one for the 24th.
You know?
Them have one for the 24th, and I was seeing where somebody was showing up.
That one should be bigger and better because Andrew Holness is not listening to the people otherwise, you know. The protests will have to be of a significant magnitude whereby even critical government institutions will be boycotted. You understand me? The government has to feel it. The government has to look bad in the public domain internationally. They have to Andrew Holness is not willing to change his ways. He has to be hit very hard in terms of Jamaica being highlighted internationally in a negative manner, and people are suffering.
You know, see nothing like here from him in my eyes, from my NNN view him, interview him, and him say I go abroad. I know nobody done nothing come back or no come back. I'm not even see me in the parliament.
Well,
We go to Brother Diego now. We could hear what Brother Diego has to say.
You see, Sir Bless,
Listen, my brother.
I think we, as supporters of the opposition, have lost away very far. And
Why you make that comment? Why you make that speech?
you see, coming out of election 2025.
Can you speak a little louder, please?
Yeah, Mr. Coming out of the election 2025. You have to assess what happened and what took place. We lost by 11,000 votes. And you have to do a postmortem. Right? You're not going to get the Labour right vote for PNP. That's a number one. You have a deficit of 11,000 votes. You can't say PNP no come out, come vote, because that is there. That is what is there, Brethren. We were on a high, we're blasting on full cylinders, and look at the result, which was a positive result. Now, the only way to get out this government and put yourself into power is to get on par with the undecided. You understand what I say to you? The party is united, the party is not divided. You understand what I say? So if we, as voices from the media, don't appeal to the undecided, then we are going to remain in our opposition, brethren. Because no Labour right now going to stay at them yard. Andrew wants to put a lock off the light in Jamaica.
No, but if you of what you have said about the undecided voters. If you look and we could attract 95,000 more, either 95 or 105 more new voters to come vote for the People's National Party. We have lost by a margin of 5 seats. 5 seats. So if we continue on this trajectory, there is no way I can see the opposition going to lose none out of the 28 seats that they have there. None. Not one single one. So all we have to do is just continue to drive home the message. Because I have seen where the opposition have not dropped a catch.
But look at Steve McGregor's seat. Look at Steve McGregor's seat in Central Kingston. It was initially declared that Steve McGregor was the winner by hundreds of votes. And then the day after, we were told by EOJ that Donovan Williams won by 8 votes. So that should have been contested in the electoral courts and straight up to the Privy Council if possible. I'm surprised that Steve McGregor.
But I understand what you're saying, Uncle Jim. But we're going to go and deal with the point that they were saying. So we'll see where the opposition is of the government and the things and cues in the parliament, and I give them 100% credit for what they are doing. They are doing a very good job into the parliament. And when you go, as Brother Jim have said, the social media page have to continue to advocate same way to the undecided. The undecided are listening to us and they see the problem that we have in Jamaica. And if you look at Evo, the deportee Sagan, the opposition are giving a lot of traction on those issues because they are driving the message home. So I just want to see another general election. I know the Jamaica Labour Party will out of power. So I have no doubt that the People's Party will win.
Uncle Sir Bless, if I may just make one suggestion, because I totally agree with what came from Diego, and I echoed it, I think, the other day on your platform, and I said what we really need to do when it comes down to the undecided voters. Let me tell you something about what's happening in Jamaica. You see those who are in the academic class, meaning the persons who are now in university or have finished university over the period at the time that the JLP has been in power. Don't expect them to come out and curse the JLP because they are looking for favors. Yeah? So I'm referring to those who went to university, most of them. Yeah? So where our strength is going to come from, and I'm telling you, when I was in the election in Jamaica, because I was in Western St. Mary, Portland, Eastern, and in Clarendon in general, And when I was in Jamaica and I saw the reaction from the children and the young people towards Mark Bowling, I said, therein lies our possibility. You see, all of them 9 to 11 grade students, right? And I'm not going to give too much, but we should connect with them because they're going to be new voters in 2030 election. Yeah? And what we need to do is ensure that in the 6 seats that we lost, that we should have won, and I could tell you, not Northeast Manchester, no, Central Manchester, Central Kingston, Northern Trelawney, Portmore, East Central, yeah, that's Terry Long versus Raymond Price, and we should have won Northwest St. Ann, and we could have easily put the seat that Malawi vote is in, which I think is St. James Central, yeah.
But then, sir, listen to what I'm going to say to you. You see, I'm at a crossroads, Brethren, because me as a man on the ground, I just talk on the media. May have a first-hand experience of what I go on the ground. And you see, culturally, that is where we are far short as a PNP organization. You can't have the better of two halves. I'm saying this to say that. You see, if you don't stand for something, you go fall for everything. You have to incorporate a type of culture, lifestyle in terms of standing on business, in terms of what make people gravitate towards it. You can't make just through traction and the in-swing of things, you go run with something in terms of say, yo, may I jump on this because I hit the people, them I say. I personally think the PNP need to like endorse a type of lifestyle, culture based, because the JP has killed the Jamaican culture. Spitefully for their gain. Because the Jamaican way of life and culture is more soothing and more interactive with the PNP ideology. You understand? That is why you see so much people disgruntled and want to stay home and don't want to bother with politics. Because even though things weren't perfect in the 90s and early 2000s, those were the happiest time in Jamaica.
Yeah, but there you go.
Huh?
There you go. I'm not going to cut it, but I'm just going to simply say I totally agree with you that we need to look at the culture and revive the culture. But I'm all about solutions, you know. You see the solution I see? Yeah. Is going into the high schools and sixth form, right? Getting them young people registered when the time comes, stay with them, give them the support because we believe in education as comrades. And once you stay with them, I am telling you that therein lies going to lie our success. Remember now, we graduate every year from grade 11 in Jamaica, a minimum of 35,000 students. Yeah? Every year. Over the next 3 years, our focus will be in some of those seats that we lost to reach out to them people, build a database. You don't have to say much, but target them, build a database the way you have to do. You know what going to be the result? We can easily bring to the poll a minimum, because you have to look at the turnout of voters in Jamaica, which is around about 36, close to 40%. So let's say 35%. And if you're able to get 15 to 20% of those students who are coming out of high school in the next general election, you have gained at least 20 to 30,000 votes.
Yeah, but then, listen, hold on. The problem with that is, I agree totally in terms of your strategy there. But then again, to amplify that type of strategic measure, you have to have a good messenger. Not the message, because the message is always going to be there. But people more look forward to who is delivering the message. You understand? And sometimes that is where the PNP kind of falter. My party.
My input now is that we the people should press for prosecution against Andrew Holness, Wheatley and Main. We know other people are coming on the list, because there can be no list of illicit enrichment without West Portland. You understand me? So we know other persons are coming. Now, if the Prime Minister is prosecuted and found guilty and all his assets and cash confiscated and that of his family members, then that is a legal pathway to take down the Prime Minister and call fresh elections. The law should take its course. We need back some of those monies that have been stolen from the public. And that is, right now, that is the way to go about it. These men have broken the laws. They have committed money laundering, grand theft of public funds, several counts of fraud, falsifying business records, false declaration, and the list goes on. These men should be prosecuted immediately, right? All their assets should be confiscated and cash, right? That will weaken their power and weaken the government because they know the wrong that they have done to Jamaica, and Jamaica is suffering the consequences. We have been set back as a people for probably 500 years to come, right? So the law should take its course immediately. Immediately. We cannot continue to wait for the Prime Minister to obtain a 4th and 5th term and no trial or prosecution takes place, right? Or no conviction. We need to arrest these men. Do you know that if the Prime Minister and other persons were...
Some stopping off it to something.
Do you know that if these men were in the US, you know, they would be looking at 30 years in prison and all their assets and cash confiscated, and they would track down their family members who would have benefited from their ill-gotten gains from state funds or kickbacks or offloading public assets. And so these are treasonous crimes, you know. In fact, if they were in Singapore and other parts of Asia, they would be found guilty, and the penalty would be death. The ultimate penalty they would have faced, because they would have destroyed the country beyond repair. So I am saying no. I hear you on political education with the youngsters and so on. I am saying no, just like everybody else, the law should take its course now, and Andrew Holness should be taken into custody. He should be handcuffed and taken into custody, and all criminal proceedings should ensue thereafter, and justice takes its course. It has to happen. This man is super wealthy and cannot give an account of the wealth that he has amassed.
Hold on, Jim. You have to understand, Bridget, and we all hear what you say, and we share the same sentiment. We have to understand we live in Jamaica. You have a set of supporters when you're in the JLP who would condone anything what Andrew Holness do. So in a perfect world, Andrew Holness gone to prison already. But you have to wake up to reality. When the PNP and the supporters them point out the wrong, you'll always have the equal amount of people that say man do the right thing. So it's going to cancel it out. You have to wake up to reality and understand, say, corruption, and this probably hard for some people take. But it seems to me Jamaica don't business with corruption, Bridget. Because if that was the case, let me tell you something.
But when you go to the hospital,
hold on, make a talk a while ago. Hold on. If the JLP supporters them, the true and love Jamaica, them would have stand down from vote from Andrew when I mean boy not so much corruption. Them don't have a problem with it, Jim. I tell you. So even when we feel and we know say him to go to prison, him still got people are back him.
Let me ask you about that.
We're going to continue to talk and say him to go to prison, and it not going to happen. You have to wake up to reality, Bridget.
We need back some of those monies, man. We need back some of those monies to buy diagnostic machines for the hospitals and medication, right? We need back some of those monies to send our children to university, because when you look at university at the West Indies now, you know, they are mostly occupied. It's mostly occupied by regional students. Our Jamaican children are not getting there because we are broke, we are pauperized, and it's caused by corruption, grand theft of public funds, right? Let me tell you, do you understand how wealthy these politicians are? The day that Andrew Holness wrapped up himself with the Chinese businessmen, right, is the day that his life changed forever. Is one question Chinese businessmen ask, and it's how much. I guarantee you that crocus bags of monies will turn up on your veranda or back door or that of your emissary. I guarantee you that depending on the value you add as a minister or prime minister, you will get beachfront properties and you will get unfettered access all over the world. Do you understand how wealthy Andrew Holness is? Not even IC can capture 25% of Andrew Holness's true wealth. We need back some of those monies to put in our country right now and save it from destruction, because so far unemployment is on the rise. Foreign direct investments are down probably by $4 or $5 billion. Less people are borrowing money from financial institutions to invest in businesses, right? So you know what that means. It connects back to unemployment, because once there is not adequate investments, then you're going to have unemployment on the rise, right? It's pure problems. Look, Spain has given visa-free access to 9 Caribbean countries, and Jamaica is not on the list. Can you imagine? Jamaica that was so wealthy came and used to borrow money from us. The British legacy that we obtained left us in good standing in the Caribbean. We had civilization before some parts of America. And look at what these new breeds, according to one lady, but in the wrong sense she said it. According to these, look at what these new breeds have done, like Andrew Holness, a Wheatley, a Maine, of Darrell Vaz. They are the new breeds, you know. Right? Look at what they have done to this country. Do you understand the wealth of a Darrell Vaz? Darrell Vaz is a super billionaire, and this guy has not run a successful business. The karma thing that he was doing, he went bankrupt out of it, or he didn't continue business because he did not refinance his business. I heard some other things that the investors with him lost money, they didn't get back their monies, even though cars were sold, whatever. But that's not the true extent of his wealth. It's since Vaz came into politics, he started owning all those mansions in Portland, in the Caribbean, in South Florida. And I can tell you, with the connection they have with SSL's boss, who is a Canadian citizen, I can bet you that they have extended their tentacles into Canada right now, just as how they build out a place in Miami Bay, St. Anne's for themselves, the Millionaires Row, beachfront properties, right? Can you imagine SSL, which is a hot criminal property, ended up in the Vaz's last name? Can you imagine? A property that value over $300 million. All people went to SSL and deposited their millions of dollars and couldn't get back a dollar, right? And we know that that man is well protected by the Prime Minister, right? Because when the Prime Minister was asked, where did you get your money from to build that massive house in Beverly Hills? SSL name was called along with JMB, right? That was the Prime Minister's response when Peter Phillips was probing him. Let me tell you something, man. If we can get back a fraction of the unlawful wealth that Andrew Holness has accumulated out of Jamaica, then I think that our country will be on its way to great success, and there will be a quick change of government.
Well said. Well said. All right. I get a very important call. So I'm going to wrap up the program by 1 o'clock. So
right.
yeah.
I wanted Uncle Sidney to say something.
Yeah, man.